not produced doesn't just affect us humans. Whether you're afraid of snakes or not, there's no denying that these albino serpents are seriously captivating. But you're unlikely to ever see one for yourself because they're some of the rarest creatures in the world. The reason why they're so few and far between is actually pretty sad. In the wild, most snakes rely on camouflage, so they don't become another animal's dinner. But an albino snake, with its pearly white skin, will stand out in its native habitat and will likely not last long enough to reproduce. What's more, albinism often results in poor eyesight, which puts them at a disadvantage when hunting for food or avoiding danger. Albino animals are also more vulnerable to poachers looking to capitalize on the booming demand for exotic pets derived from rare creatures. Basically, it's a hard life being this pretty. Blue lobster. Lobsters caught off the Atlantic coast of North America aren't usually very colorful. Instead, they tend to be a murky, greenish-brown. But in 2016, two fishermen off the coast of Nova Scotia made the news when they caught not one, but two vivid blue lobsters in quick succession, just 150 kilometers apart. Netting a blue lobster is usually considered a sign of good fortune among the regions of fishermen, so it seems like these guys got double lucky. In fact, the probability of the creatures having this coloring is widely touted as being 1 in 2 million. Considering around 200 million lobsters are caught in the North Atlantic every year, this equates to about 100 blue ones turning up annually. Blue lobsters get their dazzling cobalt hue thanks to a genetic abnormality that causes them to produce more of a certain protein than regular lobsters. But it turns out blue isn't even the rarest colored crustacean you can hope to catch. Back in 2011, two Dorset fishermen hit the ultimate jackpot when they netted this albino or crystal lobster near Portland Bill in Weymouth. These ghostly lobsters are caused by a genetic condition called leucism, which leaves them with no pigment in their shells. Without any camouflage, it's incredible that this stunning crustacean hadn't already been eaten by a predator like a shark. In fact, odds of finding this bad boy are estimated to be 1 in 100 million. I hope the fisherman bought a lottery ticket after this. How lucky would you feel after netting one of these cool crustaceans? Have any of you guys ever seen an animal this rare in the flesh? Whether you spotted an elusive creature in the wild or at a zoo, I'm genuinely curious to hear about it. So let me know in the comments below. Now let's get back to it. Pink dolphins. Pink dolphins may sound like something from a fantasy land, but they're about as real as they come. These rosy-hued ocean dwellers are actually known as the Chinese white dolphin. These creatures are beloved by the people of Hong Kong for their pale pink coloring and apparent abilities to bring good fortune. They were first recorded in local waters as early as the 1600s and inhabit the waters surrounding the Pearl River estuary. But the Chinese white dolphin is facing a number of threats to its natural habitat, including overfishing, water pollution, and heavy marine traffic along with constant coastal development. According to WWF Hong Kong, there has been a staggering 80% drop in dolphin abundance in Hong Kong waters over the past 15 years, all thanks to human interference. The most recent government estimates indicate an average of just 32 Chinese white dolphins left in Hong Kong waters, a historic low. In June 2020, WWF released an emergency action plan to protect the remaining population. If that doesn't work, they almost certainly face extinction. Do better, humans! Pied peacocks. Peacocks are some of the most aesthetically pleasing birds to look at, and male peacocks actually rely on their brightly colored plumage to attract a mate. But not all peacocks are colorful. Just take a look at this unconventional show-off. This lesser-known variation is known as the silver-pied peafowl, which originated in the US in 1992, when it was discovered by 3 different breeders around the same time. As you can see, the male silver-pied peacock is primarily snow white, with about 20% of its body possessing some color, mostly around the neck. Although albino peafowl may exist, almost all white peafowl suffer from a rare genetic condition called leucism. Leucitic peafowl can produce pigment but cannot deposit the pigment to their feathers, resulting in a blue-gray eye color and a complete lack of colorization in their plumage. In some cases, peafowl can be affected by partial leucism, which results in birds that are half-colored and half-white. These super rare birds are known as pied peacocks. Talk about the best of both worlds. This condition doesn't just affect peacocks either. Check out these incredibly rare piebald pythons that looks like they have little jack-o'-lanterns all over their pearly white bodies. Golden tiger. Have you ever heard of anything more regal than a golden tiger? Rather than being a separate subspecies, this glorious big cat, sometimes called a golden tabby tiger or strawberry tiger, is a color variation caused by a recessive gene known as a wide band gene. These fabulous felines have gold-colored fur, which is thicker and softer than a regular tiger's, with pale orange stripes. Although it's a different version of the Bengal tiger species, golden tigers tend to be considerably larger and can weigh between 240 to 500 pounds. The first ever golden tiger born in captivity came from two Bengal tigers at the Adriatic Animal Attractions in Florida in 1983. When two of these tigers are mated with one another, there's a chance that the offspring will be white, because this variety also carries the recessive gene that is responsible for the slightly less rare white tiger. The golden tiger is so rare that, to the best of modern knowledge, it only exists in captivity today. Even in this protected environment, there are only 30 or fewer golden tigers in the world. Vitiligo Rottweiler. Dogs come in all different shapes, sizes, and colors. Rottweilers are usually black with brown markings around their face and paws. But take a look at this ice-cool dude. He may look like one of those inverted photographs, but this pup's unique markings are actually the result of a condition called vitiligo. Animals who have vitiligo are unable to produce pigment in the skin, causing light white patches to appear sporadically throughout the fur. Although any animal or breed can be affected, vitiligo tends to appear most in Rottweilers, Doberman Pinschers, and Siamese cats. The most commonly affected areas in dogs include lips, nose, eyelids, face, and foot pads. Vitiligo is also fairly common in humans, affecting between 0.5 to 1% of the population worldwide. The condition can be improved where it occurs in people using immunosuppressive medications or ultraviolet phototherapy. But there is no effective treatment in companion animals. Thankfully, it has no effect on the animal's quality of life. Besides, it looks pretty badass. Golden macaw. Parrots are already some of the most colorful creatures in the world, but this golden macaw really takes the cake. These seemingly solid gold birds are incredibly rare and get their dazzling color from the excessive production of a yellow pigmentation known as xanthochromism. The mutation is also related to the lack of the production of the color red, which is instead replaced with yellow. Xanthochromatic birds are known as lutinos and are incredibly sought after among avian enthusiasts. Lutino golden macaws are a variant of the blue and gold macaw species. But instead of having a black beak, claw, and facial features, as well as the usual vibrant blue hue and gold feathers of a standard macaw, the lutino has golden feathers and white features. Its eyes are a pinkish gray instead of black, and even its tongue is white. Because of their color and rarity, the pale birds are worth a significant sum of money, and xanthochromatic birds are deliberately bred to maintain the lutino strain. Albino turtle. Albinism affects pretty much every animal you can think of, but some are harder to come by than others. In fact, albino turtles like this one are some of the rarest creatures in the world. This tiny white turtle was discovered by researchers on a beach in Queensland's North Shore Coast, Australia in 2016. 5 volunteers from the Coolum and North Shore Coast Care Group first saw the albino anomaly while gathering data on turtle nests and named him Albie. He was just one of 122 hatchlings that made their desperate sprint to the ocean, but this albino straggler was left lying on his back. According to Colin Limpus, chief scientist with Queensland's government's Threatened Species Unit, only 1 in 10,000 animals are born albino. But Albie is far rarer. Only 1 in 1,000 sea turtles will survive to maturity. And albino turtles' chances of survival are even slimmer because they have no camouflage. Limpus estimates that albinism in sea turtles probably occurs in one of many hundred thousands of eggs that are laid. There's no record of an albino turtle living long enough to nest, so Albie will likely have a tough life ahead of him. Albino panda. Although albinism can occur in basically any animal, that doesn't mean albino variants have always been observed by humans. On May 27, 2019, researchers were stunned when an incredibly rare albino panda was spotted walking through a nature reserve in China. Footage of the all-white panda was captured on an infrared camera in the Wulong Natural Nature Reserve in Sichuan Province, and was studied by researcher and bear specialist Li Shang. As you can see, the panda was completely lacking in the usual black marks that characterize the species, and it also had red eyes, a common sign of albinism. Mr. Li said that the panda sighting showed that albinism genes exist in the wild population of giant pandas in Wulong, which is a breakthrough discovery. Although this panda could be impaired by its condition thanks to its poor eyesight and lack of camouflage, Li also noted that the bear looked strong and his steps were steady, suggesting that its quality of life wasn't significantly reduced. I wonder what this cutie is up to right now. Bicolor cardinal. We've seen